Okay, welcome back to the podcast. Happy Thursday, and eerily beloved, we are gathered here today with
Just the Pizzler.
just Garrett. Solo episode today. And because Garrett is the only one on the podcast today, we're going to be talking about his favorite paranormal thing, Bigfoot. Just kidding, not
I was going to
just
say,
kidding,
we so
not,
for real.
not Bigfoot. We're going to be talking about aliens, UFOs, and Men in Black.
You almost turned this into a real solo podcast.
My bad. I thought it was funny.
The Squatch family. No
Squatch
thanks.
family. Nope, Men in Black. You're a huge Men in Black fan, so.
Indeed. Good movies.
Yep. Okay, let's get into it because there's kind of a lot, so keep up. Okie dokie. When I say Men in Black, automatically you probably think of Agent J and Agent K from the movie franchise with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep.
The comedic duo tackling extraterrestrial invaders while working for an undercover government operation was a box office hit in the 90s through the early 2010s. And while Men in Black were new to the big screen at the time, conspiracy theories about covert government agents hiding proof of alien activity had existed for decades, all of which can be traced back to Maury Island in the summer of 1947.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nah, but I'm pretty sure Roswell was in
Yeah.
47 too.
Yep. Yes, it was. So, the incident. On June 21st, 1947, Harold Dahl, his son, their family dog, and two other crewmen set off in Harold's boss's boat, the North Queen, from Tacoma, Washington. The group is foraging for logs to resell to lumber companies along Maury Island's East Bay around noon. So Maury Island is located in the Puget Sound, and today it's attached to Vashon Island. So it's north of Tacoma in the Puget Sound.
Okay.
But in the south, the southernmost part of it. So, according to Harold in the book They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers by Gray Barker, the event that followed went like this. He, Harold, was patrolling in his boat at Maury Island near Tacoma when he and his crew saw 6 huge donut-shaped objects in the sky. They appeared to be about 100 feet in diameter, of bright metallic coloring. Portholes were spaced around the outside of the things, and inside the holes of the donuts were dark circular continuous windows. 5 of the objects were circling around a 6, which seemed to be in mechanical trouble. Suddenly, they heard a muffled explosion, and the 6th object discharged a great quantity of metallic residue, something like lava rock, which fell around them. Some of the fragments hit his boat, causing considerable damage. Trigger warning for animal death. One of them killed a dog, and another injured Dahl's son. The 5 remaining objects flew off.
Wow. Donut-shaped objects. I don't think I've ever heard flying saucers referred to as donuts.
Right. So, according to Harold, about 20 tons of material had fallen from the flying objects, and either they fell into the boat, the bay, or the shore that they were close to. At first, it seemed like newspaper material, but then he described it as being lava rock, and then again as white metal. So, maybe a variety of those two. And that as it fell into the water, they were hot and produced steam. The group was so frightened they ran the boat aground and hid on land until the saucer objects had left the vicinity. Afterwards, they all agreed to keep this to themselves, as no one would believe such an outlandish tale. However, Harold told his story to his boss, Fred Chrisman. It's unclear why, but potentially because there's no other explanation for the extensive damage the boat had received. And it was his boat, remember?
Yeah, that's valid.
So after this, Fred Chrisman went to the site of where the accident occurred and collected slag and other materials consistent with Harold's story that appeared to have come from this saucer. While doing this, Fred Chrisman reported having his own experience where a flying disc descended from the clouds and behaved in a manner similar to the ones that Harold had reported. An agent note in the FBI file went on to state that it was incredibly unlikely that in broad daylight, near a largely populated city, would this happen on 2 occasions without other people mentioning it at all.
Yeah.
Fred and Harold sent some of the fragments they had collected to Ray Palmer, who worked for a magazine publisher in Illinois, along with their story claiming the fragments enclosed were from a flying disc.
I mean, this is...
So, 3 days later, on June 24th, the Summer of the Saucers, as the media had dubbed it, started with Boise, Idaho businessman and pilot Kenneth Arnold on a flight over Mount Rainier. A report released in 1949, titled Project Saucer, revealed what Kenneth told investigators. He said they were approximately 20 or 25 miles away, and I couldn't see a tail on them. I watched them for about 3 minutes, a chain of saucer-like things at least 5 miles long, swerving in and out of the high mountain peaks. They were flat like a pie pan and so shiny they reflected the sun like a mirror.
5 miles long?
So Kenneth Arnold's aerial encounter gained widespread media attention and introduced the concept of flying saucers. This is kind of like the first time.
Long?
Yeah. So this is like the first in American history that this had come up.
Good Lord, bro. They had like an alien aircraft carrier.
Yes. So after he reported this encounter and the media kind of went crazy with it, he was contacted by publisher Ray Palmer for more details about his report. In his letter, Ray Palmer told him about what happened on Maury Island and, because of his personal interests and recent experience, wanted Kenneth to look into the validity of Harold and Fred's story and write an article about it. He said, I want someone who will get the truth to find out if these boys are on the up and up. I think you can do that.
If these boys are on the up and up.
Yep. So Ray Palmer sent Kenneth $200 and, after much public scrutiny and ridicule from coming forward with his own experience, had something to prove and accepted the offer.
Yeah. $200 back then, you could buy a house.
Right. While the Maury Island encounter had happened 3 days prior, it was not immediately reported. And when it was, Kenneth Arnold's experience had already taken the media by storm, with thousands of reports of UFO sightings across the U.S. in the following weeks, specifically in the Pacific Northwest area. Kenneth flew to Tacoma to meet with the men on July 30th and found that every hotel was already booked as the city was going through a housing shortage. When he called the nicest hotel in town, he was surprised to find that a reservation had already been made under his name, when no one other than his wife knew of his plans to go to Tacoma.
Yeah, no thanks. I think I'll stay on the street.
Like, Harold and Fred had not known at this point that they were meeting.
So
because
good.
Kenneth contacted them when he had already arrived and said, can you meet with me? I'm here. So he contacted Harold and Fred, and they met with him the next day in room 502 at the Winthrop Hotel in Tacoma. Also in attendance at this meeting was United Airlines pilot Captain Emil Smith, who had reported his own experience with seeing flying objects, and Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown of the Army A2 Intelligence from Hamilton Field, California.
Whoa. So the government's already involved.
Kind of. Not officially. He just called these guys and said,
oh,
I think you should look into this.
Okay.
And initially during the meeting, Harold refused to talk about the incident and claimed that ever since he went public with this story, he's had a major streak of bad luck. Allegedly, the following morning after the incident, a man showed up at Harold's house in a black suit. The man then proceeded to tell the entire account in detail back to Harold and warned him to keep quiet about what happened on Maury Island, or else bad things will happen to him and his family.
Jeez.
According to the book mentioned earlier, written by Gray Barker, the man said, what I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe.
What?
So, of course, he did up telling the men in the hotel room his story, including detailed that he had taken photographs of the incident as it occurred, with the agreement that nothing will be published until 2 weeks after the meeting.
So he has time to prepare?
Yeah. So notably, while he was hesitant to share his story due to public blowback, he never said what had happened was untrue. The FBI files even report that Harold stated that his story was not false or phony, but that what he had seen and what had happened to him was so unusual and fantastic he wanted to forget about the disc fragments. The intelligence officers in attendance weren't completely sold with the tales from both Harold and Fred Chrisman, but offered that with so many reports, there must be a grain of truth somewhere. Samples that were collected from Maury Island were handed over to the two men, and Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown returned to their B-25 bomber, which they just casually flew up to Tacoma. It's kind of crazy.
A little work holiday?
So in the manifest were the alleged saucer samples listed as top secret cargo on the plane's manifest.
Yeah.
Which, okay, interesting.
So it was
why
official in some capacity?
Yeah. In the early hours of August 1st, the following day, en route to Hamilton Field, the B-25 bomber crashed in Kelso, Washington. And while 2 other occupants managed to escape, Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown died in the accident.
Oh, yeah, nah.
And this was the very first military air accident after the separation of the Air Force, which was that day, August 1st, 1947.
Dang. So they had to take the accident sense separation from 0 to 1?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that is fishy.
So during their meeting on July 31st through October 2nd, a reporter at the Tacoma Times received 5 anonymous calls about the meeting taking place in the Winthrop Hotel regarding flying disc, which involved Army intelligence officers. It's unclear how they learned that information, as only the men in the room knew that, and therefore some in the group must have been feeding the press information.
Yeah, somebody turned into a Navy SEAL,
I
had to write a
guess,
book.
But why? And later, both Harold and Fred denied making any of those calls.
I mean, I would deny it too.
Paul Lance, a writer for Tacoma Times, published the names of the 2 men who died in the crash before the Army had officially released them. He stated his source was a mystery telephone informant which corroborated the information about the meeting from previous phone calls they had received.
No way. A real life deep throat?
What did you just call him?
Deep throat.
What's that?
That's the guy in the X-Files who feeds
them
information.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Sure. This is like the very first X-File, technically.
Yeah.
So, according to the story published by the Tacoma Times on August 2nd, the plane was shot down by a 20-millimeter cannon or sabotage because of the contents that it was transporting.
What?
Potentially unrelated, but 2 weeks after this article had come out, the guy who published the articles with the names of the 2 men who died, before it was actually confirmed, later died under mysterious circumstances.
Dude, they'd just be killing anyone back then.
Unrelated, though.
Dang, you sneeze at a government car, your house is getting blown up.
So Kenneth called Ray Palmer, the guy who had hired him to investigate this,
scrub my name from everything.
To inform him of the conversations the men had the night before, and then revealed the deaths of Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown. He stated that he wanted nothing more to do with the disc or a potential public interest story, and he would gladly return the $200 Ray had sent him to investigate.
Yeah, dude, with interest. I'll give you $400 back.
Interest is crazy. So, still wanting some answers on the morning of August 2nd, Kenneth met up with Harold and Captain Smith for breakfast before heading towards the boat to be taken to see the spot on Maury Island.
Oh, nah.
And before they departed, Captain Smith asked about seeing the photographs Harold had taken of the flying objects. Originally, he claimed they were in his glove box, but after searching, he was unable to provide the proof that he claimed to have had. Of course. When they met up with Fred Chrisman on the boat, the men were a little bit shocked to be standing in front of a small fishing boat with minimal damage. Completely different from the patrol vessel that had suffered from dog-killing level damage, they were told had happened. Additionally, the engine wouldn't turn on, and Kenneth and Captain Smith parted ways with the 2 other men, realizing that the whole situation was becoming increasingly suspicious.
Yeah.
So an FBI investigation into the B-25 bomber crash began on August 5th, and on August 7th, Harold Dahl and Fred Christmas signed a quote-unquote confession. So this is what they signed. In the early part of June 1947, we picked up some strange rock formation from a gravel pit on Maury Island, Washington. We sent a box of these fragments to Ray Palmer of Venture magazine at Evanston, Illinois, to have it analyzed. Later, Palmer wrote and asked for additional samples, stating he had failed to have them analyzed. Around the later part of June, a few days after the first disc story started, Palmer contacted us by phone. He told us not to tell newspapers about the fragments, and he would pay for an exclusive story if the fragments could be from a flying disc. One of us told him that the fragments could have been from a flying disc. After our phone conversation, Harold Dahl wrote a letter to Ray Palmer, setting out some notes regarding the fragments and indicating they could have come from the flying disc. The next thing we heard about was the 1st of July when we got a Transocean Press telegram from Chicago asking about these fragments. We told them to forget the entire matter. The next we heard of these fragments was when we were called by Kenneth Arnold to meet him at the hotel on July 31st, 1947. We told him exactly how we found the fragments and had forwarded them to Palmer to be analyzed. The above is the entire and true story as regards our connection with the flying disc stories, etc., which originated over the ore samples we sent to be analyzed.
Huh, gravel pit now, huh?
Mm-hmm. So with the confession / not confession signed, the FBI obviously kind of wants to wrap things up. And they concluded the crash was caused by a burned out exhaust stack, which then set fire to the wing. It wasn't caused by it being shot down by a cannon to prevent further investigation into the samples they were transporting.
I mean, even if it was foul play, I doubt anyone would aim a cannon at a ship, at a plane like that. It would be way easier to just kind of sabotage it.
Right. And one article I read even noted that no planes or like military vehicles were outfitted with that specific weaponry at that time. Anyways.
So somebody just pulled it out of their bones.
Yep. On August 14th, FBI Assistant Director Ladd sent a memo to J. Edgar Hoover asserting that Dahl admitted the Maury Island story was false. When Hoover responded and said no further investigation was necessary, Special Agent Jack Wilcox responded directly to Hoover with, Dahl did not admit his story was a hoax, but only stated if he was questioned by authorities, he was going to say it was a hoax because he did not want any further trouble over the matter. Never in the signed confession did he say the events that had occurred on Maury Island did not occur.
Yeah, he even said that they could have been from a flying saucer.
Right. It was just the confession that they had signed was only about the samples that they had sent.
I guess I'm kind
It
of
had
confused,
nothing to do
though,
with the events.
because, like, if he says it comes from a gravel pit, isn't that already a lie? Because didn't it happen over the ocean because the water was boiling and then they ran aground?
Well, it could have been the samples that Fred, his boss, had taken were from a gravel pit and not unrelated to the situation because he wasn't there.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
So.
Guess he doesn't know exactly where it happened.
How did Kenneth Arnold get roped into this? Because remember, Ray Palmer wrote to him. Fred Crispin suggested to Ray Palmer that Kenneth's celebrity after he came forward with his UFO story would add credibility to their tale and make it more valuable to sell. Fred Crispin was no stranger to one of Ray Palmer's publications, Amazing Stories. Not even a month earlier, he had his letters recounting his own adventures of being shot down in Burma in World War II, going to battle with invisible creatures in a cave system, and other extravagant tales published. Crispin is a very odd character. He hosted a conspiracy theory radio show out of Tacoma and had connections to the JFK assassination trial. He was even subpoenaed to New Orleans in the trial of Clay Shaw, who was charged with conspiring in the assassination. And Fred Crispin is very strange. You could go down an entire rabbit hole about this man. He, like, repeatedly comes up during conspiracy theory events.
He's like the Alex Jones of that time period?
Basically.
But, like, not politically activated, just kind of spewing whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very, very weird that he always shows up. In a book Air Force officer Edward J. Ruppelt published in 1956 titled The Report on Unidentified Flying Objects, he referred to the Maury Island incident as the first, possibly the second best, and the dirtiest hoax in UFO history. According to him, an intelligence officer had met with the two men when they were returning to Hamilton Field on the evening of July 31st. So, like, before they had taken off. They had left shortly after their arrival, and this is in quotes, because they had quickly determined the entire thing was a hoax.
I mean, that's one insane coincidence, though.
Yeah, so officially, the Maury Island incident was determined to be a hoax, but numerous run-ins, of course, with the Men in Black have been reported, and UFOs have been spotted since the publication of these encounters.
Was it like insurance fraud, or? I mean, if the boat was fine, but they said, like, the boat, like, what happened to the dog? You can't really hide that.
So, according to Harold, he had dumped the dog in the water.
What?
Yeah, after it had been struck by a rock and died. But then other reports say that there was no family dog.
Awesome. Okay.
Very strange. Lots of weird coincidences. Lots of.
Yeah, I mean, that timeline is definitely suspicious, but man, that publication, what was it? Like People or whatever? Just some junk publication saying plane was shot down by a cannon.
It was the Tacoma Times. It was like because they were the ones getting fed information from their inside source. So because they believed, they knew that some of the information that they were getting from this person was true, like the names of the officers, what was being talked about in the hotel room, etc. So they believed everything that they were being fed as fact.
Yeah, I mean, the hotel room part is kind of suspicious. I wonder who flipped into a seal and like wrote like a tell-all book, sold it off to some e-news publication dude.
Well, yeah, and why? They weren't calling Ray Palmer back at the other
Yeah.
publication in Chicago. They were calling local
Yeah.
publications.
Yeah.
And for what purpose? Just to
make a quick buck?
I guess. Also, I guess Kenneth Arnold reported his account in the first place because the Cold War had just started. And so he was like, well, if there's stuff going on in the area that people need to know about, I got to report this.
I mean, a 5-mile long saucer.
Keep in mind, he was like in the air, moving. The other things were allegedly
psychedelics?
moving. I don't know. 5 miles long would be quite large in the
Yeah.
sky, even.
Yeah, a saucer too. Like that thing would have to be thick.
Right. But yeah, and then the guy showing up the next day. Some reports say that the man showed up and took Harold to a diner,
Wow. Okay.
but that wasn't in the FBI report.
There's no like FBI expense report of a diner.
Also, this entire report was like fully hidden until 2007, I believe. Right?
What do they have to hide?
And then it wasn't unredacted until recently. So, very weird, very strange to read through. There's like drawings of what they thought these things looked like. There's diagrams. There's many other reports. J. Edgar Hoover was very interested in UFOs, flying discs, flying saucers.
Interested in like redacting them?
No, he was just wanting to keep tabs on the reports of them.
I mean, I would too.
Like, there's a lot of memos that go directly to him, and then he responds directly to the person that sent it to him. Like, he was very much...
Need more details.
Yeah, he was very much involved in all the happenings.
We should make a show about this. I mean, I guess he kind of has to be involved in that kind of stuff because that's like national security. And a UFO could just be...
Well, and once the plane had gone down and like people were actively killed, then like the FBI had to get involved. And then
but a UFO to them, especially during the Cold War, could also just be an advanced enemy aircraft.
Yeah, adversaries with advanced technology. Yep, exactly.
Maybe they reverse engineered a UFO and they have anti-gravity propulsion.
I should have added, let's get our tin hats on at the beginning of this episode.
That would have been kind of nice.
I mean, this just like is an unfortunate accident. Those two men, the FBI almost charged Fred and Harold with conspiracy.
Hell nah.
Because two men were killed. Obviously, it wasn't their fault, so they didn't pursue it, but...
I was going to say, bro, they're not the ones flying the plane.
Imagine you come up with this huge conspiracy theory hoax. Like, you just want to get a quick buck, essentially, but then it...
Yeah, you get charged for murder.
It just snowballs, so yeah.
So good.
But again, Harold Dahl never said what didn't happen to him. I highly doubt Fred Christman went to that same spot and also saw a UFO.
Yeah, I mean, real life's kind of disappointing like that sometimes. Like the X-Files, it's always a real thing. Man, what a good show.
I mean, this is the X-Files.
Yeah, but none of the X-Files... He does a good job of like keeping the fake stuff off the docket and then just kind of dealing with the beefy like real cases.
Okay.
There is some fake ones, but it's not like Scooby-Doo where it's just some dude who wants money all the time.
Lake monster or something.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, I just want to mine like the undersea minerals. It's like, all right, go at it, bro.
So yeah, Men in Black and UFOs both originated in Washington State.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a claim to fame or
well, and a lot of
infamy.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, learn something new every day.
I kind of figured if anywhere it'd be like Washington, like Watergate or something.
Oh, Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Washington State. I mean, there is videos of, I guess if you can call them like real UFOs that, like the Air Force has, like the flying Tic Tac is a pretty famous one. Some Tic Tac shaped object that just like flying beside a ship or flying beside a plane, and then it just takes off. Unfortunately, not donut shaped ones though.
Yeah, I wonder if these reports of like flying discs, flying saucers, if that somehow influenced what we think of UFOs as today.
Imagine seeing like the B-2 bomber for the first time.
No, I feel like I'd be more
just a flying Dorito.
Yeah. Talk about
Black Dorito of death.
Opposite of undercover.
Well, it's not opposite. It goes up way too high for you to even see it. But I mean, that would be That would be alien-like for anyone who hasn't seen it before,
I guess that's true.
especially if the military is like keeping it secret.
But again, like the report stated, both of these incidents happened midday. It was nice out.
Yeah.
It was summer. They're next to Tacoma, which is presumably a very large city at that time as well. To have other people not report it, not come forward, not make a phone call, not tell anybody. Interesting.
I mean, that one makes more sense than the 5 mile long saucer, because at least those were like smaller, more contained.
Well, and Kenneth Arnold still, I don't know if he's still alive today, but he still, as early as, okay, so this article is from 1976. He still claimed 29 years later that what he saw was legit. Like, he wasn't making that up.
I mean,
He wasn't making it up. And then, as far as the weirdness that happened around the circumstances of him looking into the Maury Island incident, he doesn't know why that happened, but like still weird. The hotel room thing,
yeah.
very strange.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be seen as a public liar, though, if I was him. Like, into retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to be seen as a liar.
But he's not a liar.
Not on the stand, but like, no, but if he walked back his statement and said, like, yeah, I never saw that, then that would kind of ruin his credibility.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But 5 miles has to be like
That is kind of crazy.
the worst eyeball measurement in history, if anything.
One, Harold Dahl, he had said, like, I'm okay with being the biggest liar that ever lived. I just want to get, I don't want to deal with this anymore. If I have to say that it's a hoax, then because I'm tired of bad things happening to me. I guess his son ran away and like ended up in Montana and he couldn't remember why. Very weird. Very weird stuff happening around there.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the best of both worlds, saying that if I have to say it's a hoax to get the government off my back, then I will, because that's just, you're kind of protecting yourself and your credibility at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty genius.
Okay, so what do you think it was? Do you think it was a hoax or a hoax? The hoax was a hoax.
I don't know. I mean, I can see the FBI going in and going through the effort of stealing the photo out of the guy's glove box.
Really?
That seems pretty feasible. I mean, that's way more feasible than killing 2 people. 2, like, military service members, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the lowest budget, lowest effort job ever. Like, they walk to the boat. You just get in, get out. Or his car is always on the street. Like, dude, I'm sure it's like taking candy from a baby. Picking a lock back then. Picking a car lock.
Okay, so but that's all just the photos.
Dude, like a hairpin. Well, that's like the evidence. The boat is weird too. Just pristine condition.
And again, it was a small fishing boat.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a larger boat that you would assume they're foraging for logs. Like, obviously you gotta...
Yeah, that part was crazy.
You know. So, like, that is also a little strange.
I mean, again, that would be a pretty low budget thing for the government to go buy a new boat, though.
But also, it was a month later. The incident happened on July 21st.
Okay. Yeah, they could have.
And then they weren't in Tacoma having this meeting until July 30th. So, it's also understandable that they would fix up the boat.
Yeah.
If that's what they're doing to make a living.
Or just get a new one, or...
Yeah.
Government just gives you a new one the next day. I mean, the motor not working, even though the ship looked in like pristine condition, is suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why go through all the effort to tell people, like, yeah, come out, like, I'll take you out, and then...
Right, at that point, just make up an excuse why you can't go there.
Like,
oh, my car broke down. Like, why would you get it all the way there?
Yeah, you get all the way to your boat, and then all of a sudden it's, oh yeah, my Ferrari's in the shop. Like, I actually can't take you there. I mean, it is kind of hard to go against a confession, regardless of how, like, coerced it could have been.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I also understand the witnesses wanting to, like, be out of it, so they would kind of say whatever to throw people off, but... I don't know if it was an actual UFO. I mean, they might have seen like some test flight, some air show, some.
Yeah.
I mean, donut shaped thing. is definitely nothing that the U.S. Air Force flies. I don't think. Maybe they just saw things that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay, but creepy level, 1 to 10.
I mean, I'd be pretty creeped out if I was on a boat and all of a sudden it started raining metal. I would also be pretty creeped out if the meeting I had with some people that no one should have known about got leaked out to the press. And then knowing that I had some affiliation with 2 people that died like a couple days later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if I was one of them, I'd be pretty creeped out. If it was 1947 and I'm on the other side of the country hearing about this,
Okay, but a scale of 1 to 10. What's your number?
I'll give it like a 4.
Okay. And then believability? I guess
That's really tough.
let's do believability in the Maury Island incident itself.
That's really
Because
tough.
obviously we know the investigation from the FBI, it did happen.
I mean, we're basically just going off what 3 people said.
Yep.
2 people, I guess. If you.
I know.
We're just talking about the first incident.
I'd love to hear from the crewman or the son. Like, why did they never?
I want to hear from the dog, bro.
Rip the dog if it existed.
If it existed, that's weird. If it didn't.
Just a weird detail to add if it didn't exist. But yeah, believability score. What do you?
I almost want to say it's like insurance fraud of some kind. It's like pretty elaborate though.
Also, like those things hadn't existed then. It's not like people were making those up all the time.
Yeah. Aliens or UFOs hadn't existed to this point?
Not really.
Like flying saucers?
Mm-mm.
Huh. Yeah, okay, that makes it a little more believable then.
Like, didn't exist to the point where they didn't even have the term UFO yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like UFOs are almost like a folktale for advanced enemy aircrafts or just advanced aircrafts in general.
Yeah, unknown.
Not necessarily alien. But I feel like it's pretty believable.
The fact that they tried to sell the story makes it a little less believable for me, but
I mean, the witnesses weren't the ones trying to sell it though.
Right. The guy's boss was.
Yeah, and they only told their boss because obviously if their boat,
Yep,
hey dude, your boat blew up, like you gotta tell them something.
Aliens caused the boat to blow up.
Yeah, you have to tell them something. So I mean, that part makes sense. Like the first 2 witnesses, I feel like they saw something. Something happened.
Okay, so your believability score.
The first 2 dudes saw something. I'll give it like an 8.
Okay, that's pretty high.
If the second dude saw something, the boss, I'll give that like a 2.
Yeah, I'd also give that. I'll give it a 1, and I feel like that's generous. Like, what are the odds? The same spot.
Bro was looking for a payout.
I guess.
Same spot, like a week later?
No, the next day.
Same spot the next day where a crash happened. They were like up doing their things again.
Mm-hmm.
Up doing a little dance in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Flashing lights. Yeah, I don't believe that.
Okay, so what do you think of the first Men in Black story?
This might be the best episode yet.
Really? Better than the Mel's Hole?
Way better than the Squatch people or whatever.
We're going to talk about Sasquatch
the Silent
eventually.
Forest.
We're going to talk about Sasquatch. Not
Squatch
today,
species.
but we'll get there at one point.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yep, this isn't the only... Obviously more aliens to come, but this incident just kind of...
Sparked it all.
Kicked it. I saw someone on Reddit talking about it, and I was like, what is this? I'd never heard of it. Boom.
Oh, this wasn't like a recommendation?
Yeah. Boom, rabbit hole. Boom, I'm 27 pages deep in the FBI file.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you like this episode, please rate and review it. I would really appreciate it. And be sure to follow us on everything Eerily Beloved Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all the places. And if you have a story or a case, any weird thing like this, send me an email, tweet me, thread me, whatever they're called. eerlybelovedpodcast@gmail.com. I love looking into new things. Learn something new every day, every Thursday. This is a learning podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.